Hello, people. Um, we're starting to have a problem in Australia. I was watching TV, watching the news, and just ignore this for a second. I was watching the news, and Albanese is like that's our prime minister. He's like, oh, we're going to build thousands of houses, tens of thousands of houses. I'm like, oh, that's good. We got to have houses and land for people that come here illegally, um, for illegal people, tourists, people that have come here and become Australians, people that were born here, Australian families, all that sort of stuff, because they're years behind. So where do they pick to build the houses? Farmland that's owned by people that have lived there for years, and it's their house and their property, and they're just going to go in there and build a heap of houses like they did in the UK. Like, what? That's just stupid, I think. We've got thousands and thousands of acres of nothing, trees and grass. Thousands of acres. I mean, we've got so many acres that are available, and they've got to put the houses right on the farms. So, what's more important? Farms producing food, everything like that, so we can stay alive and actually live, or having enough housing for immigrants and all kinds of other people. Getting really stupid here. So if you're in another country and you're thinking, oh, we'll go to Australia, life's so much better there, yeah, don't bother, because that's coming to Australia too. Can't think of any original ideas. They've just got to take ideas from other countries. Mental. Okay, so let me show you something. When it stops going down and failing. Right, this is my work day, right? So I'm with Exo Social. That's who I've hooked up with for my business. So we go there, right? We log in. We log in to the thing. This is the new app that she will talk about in a minute. Just being released in our company. These are all our pages that we can share with people. Um, we've got all this stuff here. Commission. You get paid in a different place to the normal thing. Yeah, I don't have any commission. I'm still trying to generate some. We've got webinars, webinar recordings, videos, all this sort of stuff. Right, we've got all that. Sorry, still yawning. And then we've got this, which is part of Exo Social, which is part of the actual company and all that sort of stuff, right? So we have this, right? Now we can generate leads for our websites if we wish to. Mine is Change Your Life with One App. And then we can go down here and we can put in an image if we want, like, let's upload an image. Let's take this one. And then we can go here and then we just go generate. Don't have to type anything. But now it's going to all be on the phone. So you're going to be able to run the business on your phone. So you got to go to work. You can go to work and then run the business while you're while you're having lunch. And it happens. It's still connected. Yeah, it's still connected. Okay, and then you go back here. Yay, you did something. Woo. Then you go to this one. Wait for it to catch up. Post. What's wrong with you now? Okay, anyway, usually you post there. We'll go to this one. Wait for it to get ready and then post. And post. That's my computer. That's not it doing it. It's the computer doing it. Weirdness, Okay, so that's what we do. That's pretty much it. That's like the whole workday. So then let's go here. This is what we received this week. This app thing that they've created is so incredible. But I know the app thing is a bit there. But listen to how she talks about our company. Stuart Finger is the CEO person of the company.
Incredible team that is leading your company that you guys have. You truly do. Stu made some big promises. Not going to lie, made some big promises about how great his corporate staff was going to be to work with and all these different things. And I'm not one to mince words. And I said, yeah, everybody says that. And he said, you'll see. And truly did not disappoint. You guys have an incredible corporate team leading this company. And I genuinely love some of the people I've gotten to know through the build of this app together with them all. You can be really proud and grateful for the corporate staff that's leading this company. They're good people doing excellent work for you all. So you guys are the people who are pioneering in this space, the product that connects the power of what we do and think to the results that we get. So I'm going to ask you for the next 23 minutes to be open-minded with me. I need you to be all in physically with me. I want you to stand up. I'm standing. I want you to stand up, put your arms out, take a deep breath. Even if you're in a coffee shop and people think you're weird, who cares what those people think? Because I need you to be in a physical stance to receive learning something new so that mentally you can actually digest. It's more than just an app. But before we get into it, because I know some of you, it's early. I'm in Los Angeles on the West, 25, 40, 35, 15, 37. So I want you to raise your hand, like for real, like raise your physical hand. Raise your physical hand. Looked at you today and had a conversation, they would say, what are you doing? That can't be a phone. It's not plugged into a wall. What is that you're doing? How are you video? Saw, tested, used what we build and decided your business platform should mirror the convenience and effectiveness of what you sell. So we're going to get into it. You have the ability to run your whole business and your life from one place, the Social X app. We're going to solve a few problems for you. Problem one solved. The login, the log out. So I'm going to share my screen. I need some powers here from the powers that be. Let me try that again. All right. I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to show you some of the problems we solve, some of the things that have been fixed by the new Social X app. First thing it solves, one login, no logging in, logging out. This username, you have to use your email. This username, you had to choose a word. This password here needs a capital. This password needs hieroglyphics. I get so tired of having to choose a new password. And then it tells you can't be the same password it just was. And I was like, then why didn't it work? One login replaces all of these extra tools you might be using. One login to access what you need, and it's the same login you're already using with your back office. Problem 2, business and pleasure in one spot. This is what I keep in my app. I homeschool. I'm involved in a volunteer ministry. My best friend is a birder. I'm not, but I love collecting things and videos to send to her. Family pictures, things that clutter up your phone and take up space, all in the same place that you get to do business. Your planner, your family trip packing list, and your SocialX onboarding for your new brand partners, your client flyers, your Zoom reminders, all organized and at the tap of your keyboard. Hit the globe and you can pop from a keyboard in any conversation on any app and access everything that you've got saved in your SocialX app. One tap, everything at your fingertips. And then finally, you get to co-create with corporate. This to me is probably the biggest problem we solve, because when I was in the field, it would be, here's the company, here's how you log into the company stuff, here's the company's apps, here's the company's tools, and I'm your leader. So here's my stuff, here's my app, my keyboard, my drive, here's where you access my flyers, here's where you access all of my training, my onboarding. And then as a brand partner, if you want to build your own assets, your own videos, keep track of your client list, your
My problem has always been, here it is, go do it. That's the extent of the training, that's the extent of a lot of things. It's just, here it is, go do it. And I'm like, go do what? I mean, I've had to figure it out for myself. So, yeah.
notes, digital business card, you had to put that in a separate space. This is one place where you, the leaders, and the company get to co-create together. So imagine the world that exists today in SocialX. Welcome to my team. Download the SocialX app. Access the SocialX web link here. Everything you need from the company, our leader, myself.
If you do want to be in this, and you do want to join us, all you need to do, I'll change screen so I don't knock that one up. All you need to do is go to my link, which is this one here. You go here, you download the app. So you go here to the app thing. You go down, 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 down. You keep going down, you can read all that, look at all the different. This whole page here, that's all you pay, right? This whole page here, that's all you pay, right? Now you pay $9 a month or something for the app, this new app that they've done. That's all you pay. I paid $130 just to be in Herbalife, and then $400 for the stuff. This is, what is it, $42, $43. That's brilliant. If you don't order 1 month, don't matter. Doesn't matter, you know. I keep ordering though, because the app is incredible. You won't believe the app. Once you get the app and download it, you won't believe how good it is. There's no way anyone can tell you how good it is. You have to experience it. Okay, that's this app here. These here are available too, but they're only available to Americans. You have to live in America. I don't, so it's not available to me. Okay, so that's what's happening. Now, this lady said some great stuff. She talked about the app, talked about all the different things, everything like that. This lady was pretty good too. So this part here I thought was pretty good. This is our CEO talking about the business and how we're running. Stop that.
All right, everybody, you can literally count on next Tuesday night lighting the fire for you. I truly believe it's one of the most important meetings. We're going to have our regular standard biz op at 6 p.m. Pacific, but 1 hour before, 5 p.m. Pacific, make sure that you get on there and learn all about the app. You can buy it today. You can get it now. You can play with it. You can't hurt it. Do all the stuff, like I said, I just spent the last couple of days with Kate and I'm trained up right now. It's exciting because we've never had anything that holds somebody's hand and really teaches them what to do. This will do that. All right, let me switch now to the next big announcement. Okay, everybody, a lot of you, I know there's brand new people on here. And so I want to spend 2 minutes sharing the vision and part of the mission here, because you guys don't know this, but a lot of you do know this. Our mission is to build the best house anybody's ever seen. Why? Because then everybody's going to want to come live in it. And that's what we want, right? So our Social X house is growing like crazy. We could stop adding rooms to this house right now, and it is the best place I've ever lived. I'm excited about it. It's got all these things in all the different rooms, okay? Some of them are coming soon. The first room, it started with our physical products. And of course, Howie Mandel found our energy drink, got excited and partnered up with us. That's our physical product room, health and nutrition room, right? The second room, it's our personal care room. We just added this a few months back, and it's incredible. This is the easiest thing I've ever sold in my life. This is what I say to people. Hey, have you read your toothpaste tube? Have you read the warning? If not, you should read it, because it says if you accidentally swallow too much of it, call the Poison Control Center right away. What? That's what I've been putting in my mouth my whole life. Oh, no wonder why we're getting sick out there and stuff like that, right? Well, guess what? With our toothpaste, not only do you not have to call the Poison Control Center, you don't spit it out, you swallow it. Because first it makes your teeth awesome, your breath wonderful, and then it literally gives you good gut health. It's made for your gut to help your gut. Okay, the citrus silk is in here, the skincare, and wait till you see the presentations that are coming for these products in the near future that you're going to be able to use. The bottom line is another exciting room in the house. You know what I'm telling people, by the way? There's like one real criteria if you want to be my friend. You got to brush your teeth. I don't want to be friends with you if you're not brushing your teeth every day. Oh, and by the way, you should brush it with something that's going to create good gut health and make you healthier. You need to know about this product. So there you go, everybody. There's a tip on how to sell it to all your friends and family. Okay, then we've got our financial freedom room, right? We've got the ultimate compensation plan on the planet. I've been showing this to leader after leader all over the world. They're flipping out. They can't believe it. And then when they learn about it and they realize, wow, this is the real deal. And then I tell them, and it's copyrighted. No other company can copy one of the most important, biggest parts of the comp plan. What other company can say that? Only Social X. Folks, this is the room in the house that creates financial freedom. Then we've got the Newcom room. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it right now, but who needs this room? And I apologize if this sounds sarcastic. How about anybody that has a brain and a smartphone? Where are they? All over the world, right? One of the most important rooms in the house. And then we've got our brand new Social X app. See how it says coming soon? Yeah, that was about 30 minutes ago, right? So this one I could change from coming soon. Within the next 30 days, we're launching 2 more rooms. One of them is to help you with your health plans in America. This room's for America right now, someday worldwide, but right now for America, folks, my health plan costs $1,940 a month for my family. We switch this Social X one that you're going to see within the next 30 days-ish, maybe sooner. It's going to happen pretty quick here, okay? It went from $1,940 a month to $1,067 and fully commissionable. Imagine me saving $900 a month and putting hundreds of dollars into the comp plan every month. That's what we're talking about. And oh yeah, I have a better plan, right? Folks, we just switched our employees to this week. That's how close this thing is. Our corporate employees are now on the new SocialX health plan. And when you see how awesome this is, when people call up to get on it, they're going to call an 800 number and say, hey, I'd like to know what you could do for my family. And there's licensed agents there answering the phone. SocialX, how may I help you? Folks, you're going to be blown away within 30 days. And then one of my favorite rooms in the whole entire house. And there isn't a room in this house that's not important, not crucial, not needed, right? But this house is going to be the SocialX University. We're going to have the top trainers in the world train our SocialX University members. Folks, this is going to be fully commissionable. It's going to create wealth for people. Instead of the typical, let's get student loans and go in debt to go to college and university. Why? For one reason, so we can make more money in life. We want better jobs, so we get degrees. And what happens? 95% of those people do not get the job of their dreams. You know what they get? Student debt. That's what they get. SocialX University, I'm telling you folks, I believe it's going to create millionaires like you've never seen before. We're going to launch it within 30 days. And guess what? Fully commissionable. So folks, the rooms in the house are nuts. We could pick any one of these rooms and build $1 billion company around it, but you don't have to here at SocialX. You have all of these rooms in your free SocialX business. Okay, everybody, look, we're building the best house. Why? So everyone wants to come live in it. And believe me, we can hold millions of people. You know what I realized? We're not even building a house, we're building a mansion. It's nuts what's going on. Okay, with that being said, the coming soon will be gone today from this room, and it's here now. And then this is within 30 days, and the university, we're going to blow your minds when you see what this is, and it's coming also within 30 days. So everybody, get people to see our house and watch how they want to come live in it. That's how you build your business. Where can you do it? Where can you do it? In over 100 countries and territories. Why am I sharing this with those of you that are brand new? Because you need to know how crazy, awesome, amazing this is. But why am I sharing this with those of you that are existing reps right now? Because you need to realize everybody in the whole world, in all these places that we are, can benefit from every single room. Why? We have Newcom in every area on your screen. The SocialX app, fully commissionable, $9.97, $5 in the comp plan. Every one of these areas on your screen. SocialX University will be in all these areas on your screen, right? But the other rooms where we don't have the
Also, if you're in a different MLM, whatever you call it, different one, there's so many different kind of names for the more or less the same thing. If you're in a different one, don't worry. You can be in this one too, because he doesn't care what else you're doing. So if you're someone who does a lot of social media, socializing, MLMs, what's that other one? Many different ones where you share the opportunity and you get paid for people to sign up. I've heard some really bad stories about people who got people to sign up, but they got them to sign up by bullying them. You don't have to do that here. You sign up, you get the app. But you sign up by getting the app, right? You get the app with the business, you pick the business in. Now, if you do nothing with it for years or months, no worries. If you do a lot with it straight away, cool. If you talk to your friends and all that sort of stuff, great. All you have to do is get the app. That's it. The business is free. Running it is free. You choose whatever else you want to buy in the business to make it better for you. But it's mostly free. The whole goal of this business is to get you financially free so you do not have to worry about going to work and doing what you hate. You can have your money and live your life. The only downside is you have to talk to people, and you got to talk to people and hope that they join. That's all you have to do. You got to share the opportunity. That's the only downside. And is that much of a downside, really? I mean, I started this, right? I started this, and I set up a website, and I was looking around, and I'm like, what do I do? How do I get people? How do I get traffic? Because without traffic, nothing happens. So I went around and did some stuff, and people were coming in on their own, So, and we have tools as well. That part there is pretty much finished. We have. Let's go back to the other one. Like we have a funnel. We have somewhere here. Back office. See, there's the app. You can click there, pay $10 a month. It's American though, so it's more than $10 a month. It's like $20 a month, more or less thereabouts, kind of. Okay, so that's what you pay for that app, but that's only to expand your business. If you only want to pay for the Newcom app, which is this one, right, which is the one I showed you just then before, you can do that, right? But if you want to see, the other thing I like about this is it does the internet too. It's not just what is going on here. It takes them a little while to respond because they're in America and I'm in Australia, so different thing. You have that app there which has the CRM, planning, gems, all that sort of stuff, right? You have other apps like there's another app. It's called Quick Funnels. So we have a funnel. So you can use that for people. We also have this one here that recruits people as well. So you can do it online and offline, right? So what I do is I print up a flyer. When I'm chatting to someone and we get talking about business or talking about lack of sleep, insomnia, whatever they have, and we start talking about those kind of things, I slip them the flyer. And then what they need to do is go to the website on the flyer, which is the same one that's on here, and get the app. And the app gives them access to all of this. Okay, so they've changed it, so there's only that one app now. Okay, so what we can also do is this the one or is this not the one? They keep getting mixed up. They're all our different nights that we can attend different things. There's even one in Spanish, if you speak Spanish. I don't, but so there's all these webinars that you can do, right? There's my team. You download the app from my link. You can join my team. We go live Wednesday night in Australia at 8 o'clock every night. It's Tuesday night in America. It's 8 o'clock it's Wednesday. 8 o'clock Wednesday in Australia, right? This is the team I'm with, right? This is our team. Okay, so this one here I'll show you. The link is different because it's his link, not my link. It's just a general link. It's not an actual link you want to follow. You follow my link.
Yeah, I just want to quickly run through and help you to understand that the ordering is very, very simple. You just click on the link, friend would have shared with you, right? And then, it'll come up with this page here. Very simple and easy. Right, now you can either scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see who it is who sent it to you. But otherwise, you just click on that link and it'll bring you up to this page here where you can go ahead and then choose what you want to choose. They've got different packages. And the first thing you got to work out is whether you want monthly or annual. And these are all US dollars. So it's $42.50, $43. And if you get that one, you're going to be capable and able to earn the income. Whereas if you get the $25 ones, you're not able to earn the income, right? You're just a customer. And so your options are either monthly or annual. So you just click on which one you want, choose a plan, and then it's pretty simple. Just go ahead, select the country, continue, put your details in, right? Put in a password and some other details here, 12 characters. That's a bit of a trick. Then confirm these agreements, submit, put your credit card details in, and it's all done. And you get this message pop up and it says you'll soon receive an email to create your new Calm account password. And so sure enough, there's a little bit of a delay before that comes through. So don't panic. And then you get this email from Newcalm. It says, welcome to Newcalm, blah, 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 and set up your password. You click on that and it's very simple.
Just ignore that bit. Okay, that one's finished. So let's go on to the next one. Which is this one.
You just log into your back office. And when you first log in, everybody starts off as a customer. Everybody starts off as a customer. So your back office is going to look like that. But to get paid, you just got to click there where I've got it highlighted in red. And when you click on that, it'll open up this page. And all you've got to do is tick the two boxes that you've read the terms and conditions, and you've read and agree to the policies and procedures, and then register as an associate. And when you do that, it comes straight through to here. This page comes up and says, congratulations. Click here to go to your back office. So when you go to your back office, this is what's going to come up. And then what you need to do is to get your link to share with other people. Well, you click on this bit here that's highlighted in the red. And what happens when you click there? It's going to go to here. And they've got different ways that you can send it if you're in, Social X, which we will be, but we're going to use this one here. So you're just going to copy that link, have your username in there. You'll see that as soon as you log in. And that's what you're going to put in your link that you're going to send to them.
Okay, so that's that one, right? So now our group has got some pretty good videos. There's one here. I'm not sure which one it is. So what I'll do is I'll click on this one, see what it is, and if it is what I want, then it'll be. It's not, then it won't. Oh, okay, it's that one. No, that's not the one I want. So in our meeting every Wednesday, he plays a sequence of things, and in that he says, "Oh, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to Trevor. He joined up, got the app, talked to his friends, and he got 7 people straight away. joined up with him. He got $10 per person. $10 paid per person, right? And then he got the $50 bonus for having people sign up, for having 3 people sign up. And then he increased it to 20 or something. And he got paid more money than the company earns. He got paid more money than the company earns. And because they do that through different other systems that they have. So that's how that goes. And testimonies are good. I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you this, right? I don't know if this is the one he shares with us, but just watch this one.
The Newcom and Social X income opportunity is unbelievable. I promise you, this is so different to anything I've ever seen in the last 40 years. I had no idea. Now, I'm going to point a few things out here. We're going to take this slowly so you get an idea of it, because truly, it was completely different to anything I'd done in the past. And I've been saying to a few people, I've got to unlearn some of the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. Stuart Finger is the CEO and the founder of Social X. He's a great guy. I ended up having a conversation with him on the phone on, well, it was Monday morning my time, it was Sunday night his time, right? I reached out to one of my upline, Michael Swilling, and the next thing I know, he's got the owner on the on the call with us. But he's a very intelligent networker with a huge heart to help everybody that gets involved. He wanted to be able to help everybody. Now, I've already always known or believed that you couldn't help everybody because they got to be able to help themselves. And if they're not prepared to help themselves, nothing you can do. Well, they've still got to do a little bit to help themselves, but not that much, to be honest with you. And what we're going to do now is just have a quick listen to Stuart here. And this is from the call that I did, part of the call that I did Monday morning my time. It was actually Sunday night, dinner time, their time. And they took time out for me.
I hope and pray that you know I'm not the kind of guy that sits in the office. I'm the CEO that sits in the office. I want to be out in the field. I mean, that's why I choose to get paid from the comp plan, right? For 2 reasons. One, if I can't make it in the comp plan, how can I expect you to? And then 2, I'm on the same side of the fence as you. So if I want a pay raise, you get one, right? Because I got to raise the comp plan. I mean, it's really exciting the way all this is playing out.
I can't tell you how excited I was when he told me that this guy does not get paid from the company. I mean, I was an Amway, right? I've been out there on Richard J's Enterprise 5, right, in the Mediterranean, did a cruise on that. But, you know, I remember being told by some of the upline diamonds that we only ever get the crumbs that fall off their table, but they're nice crumbs. Whereas this guy, he's not doing that, right? His sole income source is from the comp plan. And you can see that as we're going to go through some of this, I think you'll see where it's different here. This is totally different to any other company I've been in. Sure, we've had other companies where people have been in networks, but then they jump the fence and they become corporate. Totally different. But just have a listen to this, right? This is how it all starts, right? Now, Social X was founded way back in 2015, so it's an established company. And the other gentleman that I was talking to who's in our upline, he was sharing with me that he'd made over $6 million in the last 10 years that he's been involved. And that's pretty handy because they only had a handful of health and nutritional products. And I mean a handful, that's all. And, you know, that helped me to understand that this comp plan definitely works. The fact that he could make that much money, that's huge.
On the very first way we pay out, it's very simple. It's 50% of all of the commission volume the order generates. So when somebody gets it and buys, about 50% is commissionable. And then if you're the one that makes the sale, you get 50% of that. Okay, so it's really that simple. And most people are either buying Newcom monthly for $42.49. So $21.25 of that is commissionable. Okay. And this qualifies you for all your pay for a month. And then, of course, you can buy it annually brings it all the way down to like $38.25 a month. But here's the cool part. The monthly saves you 15%, the annual saves you 23%, but we let it qualify you for the whole entire year. So if you buy this for a whole year, you don't have to buy anything else unless you want to. But what it's supposed to be about is residual income, money that comes in month after month, year after year. So here's the second way we pay out on all reorders, whether it's Newcom or other products, whatever it is, on all reorders, whether it's monthly or annually. If you have just one member that's direct to you, one customer / associate, you'll make 5%. If you have 3, you'll make 20%. It goes to 4 times. So most people are at least shooting for 3 for multiple reasons in our company. This is one of the reasons. And I believe if we can get the average person to really get 3, we can change this industry. Okay. So you'll see all the reasons why we're pushing people to at least just do a little and get 3. And how do they do it? By getting them to get Newcom with a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. Then if you get 7, it's 30%. 14 is 40. And then of course we got lots of people shooting for 21 because that's 50% on all reorders for life. Well, we wanted to have a way for people to even qualify easier. So for everyone that buys Newcom annually, so it does a couple of things. It saves them 23%. It qualifies them for a whole year where they don't have to buy another thing. And it moves them to this pay scale on the right instead of the one on the left that I just showed you. Now it's this simple, guys. Double the pay for one customer, 10%. Jumps all the way to 25% if you have 3. And 3 is a sweet spot. It's a magic point. We literally put a bonus on just bringing in 3 customers. Does not matter whether they spend $42.49 or the $458. When you bring in 3, it could just be 3 monthlies. You're going to get a $50 bonus. That happens when you get 3 on either side. Doesn't matter whether you're on the monthly or the annual, you get that bonus. You're manager 3. The next step is manager 7. To get 7, now it pays you just like you got 21. So the difference between buying Newcom annually is you're on this scale. You never have to go to 21 to get the 50%. You can go to 7, plus there's a bonus. When you become a manager 7, whichever scale you're on, whichever side, you get a $200 bonus. Depending on whether they buy the monthly or the annual, the minimum you'll make if everybody does the monthly is $325. The max, if everybody buys the annual, is $950. It's usually about $500 because there's an average in there.
He's dead right. That's exactly what happened for me. I mean, for the first week, I didn't do anything, or the first 6 days, because I just wanted to test it out and see if I could work better. And I did. I ended up coming up with a little video, and I believe it's one of the best things I've ever done. But that was finished on the Friday, and then I started sharing this with people on the Saturday because I'd proven to myself that it had helped me. And anyway, in about a 24-hour period, I ended up putting in 10 people, and that was pretty exciting. And so I'd already started seeing bonuses coming through like he's talking here, and didn't understand the comp plan. Then I realised, well, gee, Trev, you better get out there and upgrade. And so I've done that, but I hadn't even looked at the comp plan, when I signed up. I just wanted to see if the product worked because I had a problem. But here I'm just trying to share with you what happens. So this is assuming that everybody, both you and the new people that are getting in, what we call personal directs, the people that you introduce, are all buying the $43 monthly, right? So if you buy that one, you end up getting about 25% of the cost of it back. So it's a little bit more than the $10, but if it just makes it easier, $10, right? So you introduce 3, and then what happens? That's $30 there for the $10 that you're getting back for each of them. And then what will happen? You get a manager 3 rank advancement bonus. So that's another $50. So I'm looking at this and thinking, man, I put $43 out and I got $80 back. And I'm thinking, well, one of the goals in network is to get money into your new people's hands when they first get in the business as soon as possible. And I'm thinking here, they haven't put much in the first place anyway, but they've nearly doubled it with just 3 people. And so then I'm thinking, okay, what happens next? Actually go through and do it all out one at a time to start with. But then sure, you end up, if you've got 7 in there, I mean, if people get their money back or maybe even double it, but not 7.5 times, for introducing 7 people. Give me a break. And then I started to think, okay, well, how much has actually been invested by the 7 directs? How much money has the team put in? Well, it's pretty simple to work out, really. I could do it in my head. There was 7 lots of 43, 301. And that's when I was glad that I'd spoken to the guys the day before. Because initially I'm looking at it and thinking, how can they pay out more than what they've taken in? How can they do that? But it's been designed by a networker. He understands the value, the importance of getting money into the hands of the new people straight away, right? So this is including the $200 and the $50. I only ever pay that out once. And I looked at it and said, okay, well, if you add in half of the $43 that I put in as well, that's how it gets up to the $320. It's taken half and given me half my money back as well. But that's just the cash flow within that 24-hour period, or a week, I guess, because I paid a week earlier. But that was mind-blowing. But I want you to stop and have a think about this. Imagine going out and sharing this with people. How many people do you think would be pretty excited about being able to make $320? And all I've done is sponsor 7 people who have spent just $43 USD. About $65 straight, no shipping, no tax. All commissionable. Mind-blowing. Then I started comparing it with some other networks that I've been in the past. And thinking, okay, just supposing this is a minimum cost to get in, it only cost them $43 to have a business. Plus they've got a month's supply of the product. And I'm thinking, well, what would be the minimum cost for these other companies I've been in the last 15 years? And if someone started off at the minimum, how much would they have made if they'd introduced 7 other people at the minimum? Well, the answer in both systems was 0. 0. I think every network I've ever been in, if you were starting off at the minimum and you introduced 7 people at the minimum, probably going to end up much the same. That's if they wanted to build a business. Anyway, just exciting, but to think about it. But just have a think, okay, if you think this is a good idea, do you think you'll be able to find 7 others who might think it's a good idea and worthwhile, risking $43? Now, you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee anyway, but nevertheless, prepared to put their hand in their pocket at least for $43. $65 Australian. I mean, you'd spend more on a Chinese feed, a heap more if you wanted to have a drink to go with it, just for the 2 of you. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. But look what had happened. Just supposing you got 7 and you help the others, those people get 7. It'd be 49 at the next level, then 343, then 2,401, then 16,300. That's only 5 levels deep. You'd have nearly 20,000 in your team. 20,000 in your team. And now we're going to go back to Stuart again, and he's going to teach us about the power of Manager 3.
Manager 3, the power of Manager 3. This is our focus. How does it happen? You get in the company, you have one quick goal, get to Manager 3. What does that mean? You put 3 people on your team now. Besides all the money I just showed you, you're getting paid an additional 2% on all the commission volume they generate for life. And so since you brought them in, you're getting that 50% plus the 2. We give them one main goal: become a Manager 3. That's their job. Go get 3, become a Manager 3. That puts 9 more people on your team. Don't worry, they're going to get paid the 50% and all that stuff, but you get a pay raise. You get 3% of all their commission volume. And what do we teach them? The system teaches them, get 3, Manager 3. Now there's 27 folks on your team, another pay raise, 4% on all the commission volume they generate for life. But what are we teaching them? Go Manager 3. You can see the trend here. It's about many hands make light work. Everybody just become a Manager 3. And if they become a Manager 3, they're automatically putting 3 people each on your team, right? As this keeps going and we keep teaching it, just for 7 levels, I'm just going to take it 7 levels deep. It actually pays 20 levels. 2,187 people, 10%. Here's the question. Where would you rather have the biggest percentage for long-term residual income? Where you have 3 people maxed or where 2,187 can be there? Of course, the answer is where you have the most people, right? Creating the most CV. That's why we set the plan up like this. Those 2,187 people are going to have one goal, Goal Manager 3. But for this presentation, we're going to pretend like they don't know anybody that would want Newcom. We're just going to talk about if this is your team and everybody just went Manager 3, if they were buying the monthly Newcom, you'd be making over $6,000 a month. If they buy it annually, you'd be making over $57,000 a year. And nobody had to bring in more than 3 people. Nobody has to be more than a Manager 3 for this to work. But what if they're going for that $200 and that 50% for life, right? Then they're actually bringing in 7, not 3. It actually makes this happen quicker and bigger. In our company, you can have an unlimited amount of these all working at the same time for you simultaneously. So why is that a big deal? If one could pay you $6,000 a month, it stands to reason 2 could pay you $12,000. You know, if 2 could pay you 12, 3 could pay you 18. What could 10 pay you?
Yeah, what would 10 of those business centers be like? Huh? And seeing what's happened now, my head's back and I can think clearly again. The first time for so long, it doesn't matter, to be honest. I've just been so sidetracked by everything else that's going on. I think I can track it back to when the social media took off, right? And I mean, when we first had Facebook, you were seeing your friends and all that sort of stuff. That wasn't negative. But I reckon for the last 8 or 10 years, it's just been negative the whole time. And it's affected me. There's no doubt of that. You know, we've been through COVID as well. And, you know, with all the stuff going on in the world, it's so easy to worry about all that all the time. But what I find is when I got these, you know, music going into my ears, there's no words there.
So, what would you do with $57,954 a month or a year, all the rest of your life, unending? This doesn't end. It doesn't end, right? It just keeps going. Or 84 a month. I mean, you can't earn that working a job. You know, well, you might be able to, but you can't do it from just sharing on your phone and your computer. You can't do that way, right? So it's an amazing, and it just keeps going. Everyone comes in, they share it to 3 people. You have to get 3 people to start, right? Before you hit the starting blocks, you have to have 3 people. That's what I'm struggling with right now. You get 3 people, well, 3 people join. You don't get them, you don't trick them, you don't bully them. You've got no big stick thing to say, oh, if you don't do this, you don't get that. You don't have that. You just share it to friends and stuff. People join. There you are.
And the fact that it's all hyped up with whatever they've done to change it, it's made a huge difference to me. I can now concentrate clearly. And what I've realised that I can go and do what a friend did at another company I was with, where he sponsored 120, 130 people fairly quickly and ended up with something like 70, 80,000 people, you know, in 18 months. Well, after putting in 10 last weekend, when I put in one day's effort, really, I believe I can sponsor 120. It's not going to take that long. And that's why I've spent all week putting this little presentation together. I think it's going to help people understand what's going on, because this is totally different to anything else we've ever seen. See, in a forced matrix, spillover must occur if anybody introduces more than 3, because it's what they call a 3 by 20 matrix. So everybody's just got 3 people underneath them. And then each people they put in, they got another 3 underneath them, they got another 3 underneath them, and so on. It goes down 20 levels deep. And so I looked at it here and said, okay, basically, even though if I was to put 3 in and then put another 9 in on the next level, and then 27 on the next level, and then 81 on the next level, as it turned out, that'd be 120 total.
Okay, so you can watch that later on when you get in. Okay. Why would you really want to get in? Because when we go back to the page and we go to Real People, Real Results, this is the testimonies that everyone has done about how good the product is, what it does, how it works, everything like that. Okay? So you can watch this. I'm going to have lunch and stuff. So, yeah. Some of these might resonate with you. Hopefully they will.
Hi, my name is
Turn my
Jim, and
camera
I'd like to
off.
share with you how I use Newcomb. Now, when I was a kid, there was television commercials with this gentleman get on and say, hey, I'm not only the president of the company, I'm also a customer. Well, that kind of plays the same role here, too. I'm the president and CEO of the neuroscience company that makes Newcomb. But me, just like everybody else, has stress. I've got 3 girls, 19, 17, and 14. That's a lot of stress. I travel a lot. That's a lot of stress. I work a lot. That's a lot of stress. So when I feel stressed, here's how it kind of impacts with me. I notice that I get easily agitated. We're in the service business. Newcomb by itself literally liberates people from fear and stress and anxiety. It's so, and I'll lie there, and I'll lie there, and I'll do the Newcomb thing. Sometimes I go very deep, sometimes it's really shallow, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's 40 minutes. But when I get up, there is no overwhelm. There's a sense of gratitude and calmness in my heart, in my tummy, and I'll go about my day. So that's one reason or one way that I use it on a regular basis. If I have a long day and I don't get a great night's sleep, or I do get a great night's sleep, I'll go about my day, I'll work through my stuff, and then I'll be like, okay, hey, at 7 o'clock you have a Zoom presentation, or at 6 o'clock you have a call with the military, whatever's on my schedule. I'll purposely plan to Newcomb about 30 to 40 minutes before these important calls. And why do I do that? I've been running this company for 12 years. Do you think that I haven't spoken about everything to do with our company and our products a million times over? Do you know how boring that would get if I didn't do Newcomb? You know how boring it would get if I'm saying the same thing over and over and over? That's why I use Newcomb. Newcomb's a gift. It's a reboot. It's a restart. It literally changes your energy. It flushes stress away and allows me to be present in the moment with my audience. So I really don't find myself getting that bored. I will Newcomb a lot on the road. It definitely helps with jet lag, definitely helps with travel, definitely helps with all the stimulation required to travel. We just flew out here from Philadelphia. It took 13 hours for my daughter and I from wake up to getting in our hotel. It's only 2,400 miles away, but 13 hours, that's travel, and certainly in COVID, things are a little different. That's stressful. So I use it on a regular basis to take care of myself. I use it when I know emotionally I'm not in a good space. If I feel irritable, agitated, impatient, if I'm not present with my daughters where I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good son. I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good brother. I want to be a good human. Stress doesn't allow me to do that sometimes. Newcomb's my tool. So I use it as a regular basis, on a daily basis. Sometimes I use it twice a day. You can serve
jet lag. It was a struggle. You can't deal with it. You just have to accept it. And the longer the trip, the more your body becomes fatigued, and eventually your body just shuts down, which is why we have safety limits and duty limits where our trip can last so long. You know, our body is operating off of adrenaline during critical phases of flight. Despite that, we're completely drained and fatigued. Well, there's been many studies with the FAA as far as fatigue and jet lag and changing our circadian rhythm. That comes down to it is you're not thinking clear. You're tired. You're at the end of a flight during one of the most critical phases that is at risk to not only your passengers, but people on the ground. And that's when you need to be at the top of your game. Well, I heard about it through my dentist. I was living in Asia and I would commute into Austin where my dentist was to see him. And I have a high anxiety dentist to begin with. And he knew that. I just got off a 22-hour flight and my mind's racing. I have many things to do. I'm only in town for 2 days before I fly back out to Asia. Well, he just said, put on some music and relax. Let me do my job. I had no idea what he was doing to me. As I sat there, I just felt like a light switch. I was completely calm, and at the end of the procedure, I just wanted to chill the rest of the day. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't in this mode where go, 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 and get everything done. I said, what just happened to me? I was shocked that I can go from a high-stressed feeling to just being very low-key and calm. And I immediately thought, we could use this in flight. The flights I do are multi-crew, where we change out during flight because they're so long. And the hardest thing to do is to go from flying an aircraft to go on the back and try to get 3 or 4 hours of sleep to go right back there and do it again. Our flights are up to 12 hours long. With the NUCOM, we're able to bring that stress level, that anxiety down and relax. That way, when we go back up there to complete the descent and approach of one of the critical phases of flight, our mind is clear. I initially didn't tell anybody. I said, well, let me just try this the first few flights, and I was amazed that it worked. And when I gave it to my colleagues to use, they were sold. They were like, wow, this is amazing. With NUCOM, you're able to just come down to a level and relax and be stress-free. I think it's a safety issue. I think that this should be in every long-range cockpit. There's a lot of skepticism, especially in that level. And, the suits of the airlines, it's a cost factor, and their job is to keep costs down low. When you add this into it, it's going to increase their cost. So it has to be sold on a safety aspect because it's going to keep the passengers and everyone safe. I like using NUCOM on the longer flights because it reduces my fatigue level and my mind is clear when it needs to be in the most critical phase of flights. Normally when I come home, it would take me a minimum of 3 days to recover. I would sleep in the middle of the day, I would be up in the middle of the night, and I would get sick fairly easily. I was immune to any kind of sniffle. I knew that my immune system was low. I would instantly be sick. I've noticed that in the last 2 years, I haven't been sick. And when I go home from a trip, I'm recovered within the day. Jet lag is completely eliminated for me. I can instantly go right in as a normal person that hasn't crossed 12 time zones over the last 7 days and live a normal life. When you're not crossing time zones, you're not tired, you get to a new destination, you want to go out and have a nice dinner and see the area. When you're so tired and fatigued, the last thing you want to do is go out. So you just go to bed, and the last thing you hear from them is slam flick until you see them for the next duty day. That's what they are to me. When I get to a new city, even if I fly from LA to Sydney, our normal flights would leave at 10 o'clock at night. We would land at 6 in the morning in Sydney. If I've used NUCOM on the flight, I'll use it for 30, 45 minutes in the morning when I get to Sydney. And then I'm up the rest of the day. I'm going out, I'm going to the Opera House, I'm going to see the bridge. It's great. My colleagues, they're sleeping all day. I'm coming back when they're kind of waking up. They're up the entire night, and I'm going to sleep at a normal time. Every airport that has a major airline base has a crew lounge. Yeah, American has their lounge, Delta, Southwest. And it's kind of a place where the crew can get away from the public. So at a point, normally after about 2 hours, you're just so drained and fatigued that your body shuts down, but you're not getting the rest that you need. It's not the same type of rest that actually helps your body recover. By the time you're in a deep enough sleep, your 3 hours is up, the flight attendant's waking you up, and it's time to go back to the cockpit. Now I immediately put NUCOM on. Within 15 minutes, I'm completely relaxed. Within a half hour, I'm in a deep sleep. Now, my mind is clear. I get up there, and I instantly know what's going on. I'm not fatigued, I'm not tired, and it's like I just woke up. I'm fresh.
You know better than I that there are a lot of people who have a fear of flying. Do you see any application for something like a NUCOM system to help in overcome that fear?
Well, absolutely. I experienced it when I went to the dentist. I have a fear of dentistry. And when I used it, I was completely calm, relaxed. I see people every day that fear flight. I feel that if they were able to use NUCOM, it would take their mind off it. They would be relaxed, and their level of fear would come down significantly.
Hi, my name is Jim. They call me the tech guy, and I'm with Jim Quick. They call him the method guy or the technique guy. We have combined forces over the last couple of years to unleash a revolution in learning. It's called Quick State, powered by New Calm. Now, many of us understand, even though we don't practice, that all learning is state dependent. With our patented neuroacoustic software, we are creating the optimal brain environment and oscillating your brain between 15 and 20 hertz. We are adding the emotional component of music, and then we are adding the brilliance of Jim Quick's method. Quick State, powered by New Calm, will unleash the power of your brain and help you own the day with your limitless brain.
When I was a child, 5 years old, I had a traumatic brain injury when I was in kindergarten class. I took a very bad fall, and from it, where it really showed up were in learning challenges. And what does that mean? I had trouble focusing. I had poor memory. It took me a few years longer just to learn how to do something simple like read. Teachers would repeat themselves 3 or 4 times, and I would pretend to understand, but I didn't really understand. When I was 9 years old, I was slowing down in class, and a teacher came to my defense, but she pointed to me in front of the whole class and said, "That's the boy with the broken brain." And that became my identity. And my state of being as a child going through all school was feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling so stressed that I would be called on, that I would not perform. I had so much test anxiety. I was so fearful of public speaking because I never had the answers, or I was so afraid I would shrink down and want to be invisible so the teachers wouldn't call on me because I didn't want to be embarrassed. And those are my states. Later on, I learned ways to upgrade the most incredible wealth building asset that you own, which is your brain. That if knowledge is power, learning is your superpower. The challenge is a lot of people know what to do, but they don't do what they know. They'll read it in a book, listen to a podcast, and we have books and we have podcasts and courses. The challenge is common sense is not common practice. And what's the difference that makes the difference? As Jim talked about, all learning is state dependent. That if knowledge is power, learning is your superpower. The challenge is we can't always access that superpower, even if we know the knowledge, skills, and abilities are there, because we're in a stuck state. But here's what I've learned after over 30 years, 3 decades of becoming a brain coach and working with universities like Harvard and Caltech, Singularity University, or at companies like Facebook and Nike and Google and SpaceX and Virgin Galactic, is I realize it's not how smart you are, it's how are you smart. And the key to discover how are you smart, the secret to your genius, are genius states. All learning, again, is state dependent. The challenge is everybody wants a magic pill to change their state. The problem is there is no magic pill for better memory. There's no magic pill for better focus. There are no magic pills, but there is a patent program called Quick State, powered by New Calm. And that's why we teamed up. We took 3 decades of your experience and 3 decades of mine, put it together to create something called synergy. And there was almost a synchronicity when we met, all those years ago, because we knew that something was there. And because we were both on this mission of transcendence, this mission of transformation, transcendence, right? The ending the trance, this massive gnosis through marketing or media or for your environment saying that you're not enough. That you, maybe like me, were told that you were broken. And I'll tell you, my mission is very simple. I want to offer hope and help to somebody that was told they were limited, like I was, right? And here's the thing, there are no limits, right? They say the sky is the limit. The sky is not the limit. Our minds are the limit. Yet so many people are shrinking all that's possible in their life to fit their minds. When I say, what if you instead did the opposite? You expanded your mind to fit all that's indeed possible. You could only see, feel, and experience the things based on how you're feeling at any given time. And if you're familiar with my book, Limitless, we talk about 5 states, brainwave states, everything from delta to theta to alpha to beta, right, to gamma. And these are states that you could choose. Every single morning we wake up and we can make great things happen because we wake up with a chance and a choice. Right? A chance and a choice every single day. There's a quote in my book, Limitless, that says, life is the C. Life is the letter C between the letters B and the letter D. What does that mean? B stands for birth. D stands for death. Life C, choice. We always have that choice. That these difficult times, I believe, can distract you. These difficult times can diminish you. Or these difficult times, they can develop you. We ultimately decide. because we always have a choice. I can't think of another choice to make, right? We make choices of what to put in our body, who to spend time with, where we're going to live, what we're going to do, what we're going to focus on. I can't think of a more important choice to make every day than the state of being that we're going to live in, because how we live and how we feel, that's our life, right? That's the key to a long-term memory. Information by itself is very forgettable, but information tied with emotional states become unforgettable. What a wonderful opportunity to partner with Newcom and their patent technology, this neuroacoustics, using the physics of your nervous system to ingrain the methods that we teach in Limitless and on our Quick Brain courses around mindset, about hacking your motivation for sustained drive and purpose and energy, and the methods that you're using to read faster, to be able to learn languages quickly, to be able to give a speech without notes. I believe that life is like an egg, that if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. But if it's broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things begin on the inside, and what you have inside of you is so much more powerful than what lies ahead of you, right? The obstacles. And here's the thing, if you're struggling right now and you're going through some challenge, remember, with challenge comes change. We can make amazing things happen. We can unlock that superhero version of yourself. Because I really do believe, as we're designing this patented program called Quick State, again, powered by Newcom, I believe there's a version of yourself that you haven't met yet. And the goal is we show up every single day in the states that we desire and we deserve to be able to meet that person.
Quick State powered by Newcom. Own the day with your limitless brain.
Very open from the very beginning. I was introduced initially to Newcom by my colleague, Dr. Ed Gilbert, a radiation oncologist out of Dallas who ran 2 large cancer centers there. And he and I were partnering on a comprehensive cancer wellness program in West Palm Beach at Hippocrates Health Institute. And so Ed was the one who arranged with Jim to come and bring the Newcom system to our cancer program to do a pilot research study. So for the last 18 months, we've been doing ongoing research utilizing the Newcom system with the heart rate variability to look at pre and post testing and the differences in the results in strengthening the parasympathetic nervous system. We're looking for changes after 8 to 15 sessions with people that have a diagnosis of cancer to look at what effect the Newcom neurofeedback technology actually has on their autonomic nervous system, because we know that stress is a major component both in before the diagnosis of cancer and for sure secondary to the diagnosis of cancer. So in my way of thinking and in the research I've done over the last 30 years in the field of psychoneuroimmunology and cancer, I've seen that the more we can intervene and help people downregulate their stress physiology, we can have a really good chance of helping them upregulate their immune system and all of the other healing mechanisms in the body as well. In addition to what we've done, there are thousands of research articles at this point that can be referenced, pointing to the major component that stress has not only with cancer, but with many other illnesses. Illness exists within a human being, and so a human being, depending upon their state of well-being, including the state of health of their autonomic nervous system, is either more prone to disease or to symptomatology or is in a more optimal state. And we all know, I think, probably that when we're going through a lot of stress, that we're more vulnerable to getting sick, even if it's with a common cold or a flu. Last year, I think Stanford came out with statistics that 90% of all illnesses have a major stress component. For sure, stress has an impact and a negative effect on one's health with looking at cancer, heart disease, diabetes, any of the autoimmune disorders. I would really go on to even say even the dermatological spectrum of disorders, because we're very sensitive to the physiological effects of stress. I mean, even if we look at asthma, we know that when kids get more stressed out, they're more apt to have an asthmatic attack. My experience with Newcom has been personally And I've used it over the last year and a half at different times and in different varying amounts given the situation. But I would say on average, I would use it, let's say, a dozen times a month. I have found my experience it in personally, both that I have found that there's something that happens going into that deep state of relaxation that's different than getting myself into a relaxed meditative state consciously on my own. What I can translate that into is that with the binaural beat and going into alpha within the first 4 minutes, there's something about the old limbic brain that gets put to rest, gets put into a state of comfort and well-being, meaning that there is not a perceived danger. There is a calming of the whole nervous system. And I find that really fascinating because in what we do in psychoneuroimmunology and cancer, we focused a lot on the cognitive behavioral interventions, helping people think healthier, to have healthier emotional responses, to give healthier, richer, more meaningful meanings, if you will, to the things in their lives so that they're not upsetting themselves in the ways that they could have previously. What I found with cancer is that when people go on this, surprisingly, it's more than just a meditated, deep, relaxed state. What we found, though, is that all of a sudden there will be emotional memories, very raw in nature, that come up out of just what seems to be nowhere, and yet very important resolution that seems to occur. And so we'll see people beginning to cry, and then they'll calm. They're still on the new calm treatment. What's happening neurophysiologically, perhaps, that's been sort of disconnected in the brain somehow or trapped, starts to begin to get resolution. And interestingly enough, what can seem like a very raw and challenging experience gets released. It's almost like a PTSD sort of flooding memory, and yet it's released and does not seem to recur repeatedly, that same memory with the attached raw emotion. So something happens in the clearance of that. I absolutely don't see any negative implications with using Nucalm. I would say that sometimes when people start to have emotion that comes up, there can be potential resistance to that. And yet if they can stick with it and understand the value of it and the clearance of it that happens pretty profoundly and quickly, and that they get that actually is a strong healing mechanism that's occurring, I've seen that information can then allow them to stick with it, and they go, no.
As a goalie, there's moments, it's ups and downs. You make a big save, then you get filled with a rush. As a goalie, the biggest thing is just the next play and getting on with things. My name is Isaac Nami. I'm in my sophomore year here at the University of Denver, and I am the goalkeeper. Coming in my freshman year, we had our annual Nucalm meeting, and they introduced it to me, and I got to play around with it. I got a little toolkit with the eyes as well as the patches. At first I was a little intimidated by it. I didn't know how I'd like it, but as soon as I got into it, I was like, okay, this is actually affecting me, and then I got into a rhythm with it, and I really started to like it. For me, I struggle with studying. I'm all over the place, so I use Focus quite often. I love the new Focus. From there, I started doing well in school, and then I realized, okay, it's less stressful when I'm doing well in school, and so it allowed me to be a better soccer player in a way. So for me, using Focus, it's really helped me to kind of find a quiet place for me. I'm someone that's all over the place, really. I can't really focus when I'm studying, my phone's going off, people are walking by, so it really helps me to just get into a study room and flip on the Focus, and then I'm locked in. It really helps me to just calm my heart rate down, slow me down, and I'm also able to retain information a lot better because I'm thinking just that music, I'm flowing, I'm just ready to go, so it just helps me to retain information while also just being a lot calmer while studying, reading, whatever it might be. In preseason, we're doing a lot of double days, and so in between I was trying to squeeze in a quick nap, and I just did the rescue and tried to do a quick nap and try and rejuvenate my body before I had to go again in the afternoon, and it helped me a lot, and then I kind of got addicted from there. I kept using it and using it. I think as a goalie, you kind of need to be more steady. You get less opportunities on the ball. I mean, I might just be standing there for 85, 86 minutes of the game, but then I need to make a save. So I think for me, NUCOM has really helped me to be a little bit more stable. I'm able to use focus and calm myself down, so I'm just level-headed throughout the game. As a D1 athlete, with constant travel, NUCOM has really helped us to take our recovery to the next level. With traveling and playing a lot of games on the road, there's a lot of stressful things, and NUCOM has really helped us to eliminate a lot of those stressors and ultimately take our recovery to the next level. Usually when you're on a travel trip, you are drowsy, you're slow, you're more irritable. But for us, we're hopping on the plane, we're throwing on our eye masks and just hitting NUCOM, and then whatever it might be, if you're studying on the plane or you're getting a power nap on the plane, it allows us to, when we get to our destination, whether we're traveling just a small flight to Minnesota or whatever that might be, or we're going all the way across the country to New York or California, something like that, it really helps us to not lose anything when we're traveling. NUCOM it's revolutionary. Once I give it a chance and really believed in it, it has taken not only my soccer level to the next level, but also like academics, my sleeping. Sleeping is a big one for me. Just flipping on NUCOM right before bed allows me to slow my heart rate down. Then I'm getting better REM sleep, deep sleep, whatever it might be. My sleep performance is going up. It leads to overall balance in my life. Just being able to utilize NUCOM, it really is a cheat code throughout your day. Just flip on NUCOM for 20, 30 minutes, even 15 if it's a bit shorter, and it allows you to stay level-headed through the day and stay in that flow state. Being an athlete, it's ever evolving. There's someone coming out with something new every day, and I would just really harp on the point that NUCOM can help you in so many different facets, not just your athletic side of things. It can really help you with your sleep, your school, your overall life, and your happiness as well. That's a big thing for me. So I would just say believe in NUCOM and really let it take you to the next level.
I see a lot of different people, newly diagnosed. I see people with, they're coming in for follow-ups, and I see people who are acutely ill in a hospital. So I see all these people during a week. I work in a multi-specialty clinic, and I also have patients in the hospital across the street. So I do both. So I'll see the patients, 9 to 5 in the clinic and in the hospital before lunchtime or after work. I pretty much see everybody at different stages. I personally focus on women, actually people with breast cancer, because men get breast cancer too. So I focus on breast cancer, and so I see a lot of the newly diagnosed patients. So they have either been to the surgeon and I work them up, and I'm going to be the major captain for their care. So they're going to get chemotherapy, they'll get radiation therapy, and then after that we sometimes give the anti-estrogen therapies. So I manage that for the most part. Then there are a lot of people who've been through treatment and are just coming in for follow-up. And of course you have to understand, nobody likes to come to their oncologist. Okay, they don't want to go to their oncologist because everyone's afraid that, well, she's gonna find something, and my lab's gonna be normal. So people start having anxiety before coming to my visit. So even though they might be in remission, there's still a lot of underlying concern there. Their anxiety starts maybe their head fuzz, they get the saying it was Zen, like that. And I realized when I looked into the science about it, I was really fascinated that there actually is incredible science behind this technique and system. So once I started, learning more about it, I actually invested into my own system. I have it and I use it every morning now. And it's been something that's been pretty useful for me. And just to share an experience, my father had died recently. I had to work full time because my partners were out on spring break and a lot of things were happening. And I forced myself to do the NUCOM system, made sure I did it, I should say. And it gave me a forced time out of all the stress. And I have to say that it was really helpful to have those 20 minutes of just, making sure that I was in that zone. I'm not a very disciplined person to sit down and meditate. I would love to do it. I have done it. I like it, but I just don't have the discipline to do it. And so this NUCOM, I almost feel like I'm cheating. And I know I can get to that Zen zone or whatever pretty quickly now. It's been very helpful for me. And so in turn, I would like to pass it on to my patients, because obviously the patients who are dealing with cancer and going through chemotherapy and all the changes, when someone's going through chemotherapy, it would be great for them to experience, again, a forced time out from their reality. So it's something that I'm looking into with the NUCOM. company, something to do for the patients. What's interesting about somebody who's dealing with a serious illness, cancer or whatever, they are under not only acute stress, fight and flight syndrome, but that they're under chronic stress. That thought doesn't really leave them. And so we know that prolonged chronic stress wears down your immune system, all of your system, to put it bluntly. And again, to alleviate some of that chronic stress, and even if, with the NuCalm system or anything that can really alleviate that, will be a benefit to them. Again, the NuCalm system is just another way of getting them into an area that we know they're going to get to with help, from the system. If I was speaking to my peers, I would tell them I found a way to cheat to get into the Zen zone. Whether or not we're talking about breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung or colon cancer, it doesn't really matter, because all of these people are undergoing the same physiological stress. And so certainly NuCalm will help anybody, and it doesn't matter the type of cancer.
In the last 10 years, you've seen an increase in the use of psychology in sports. I think people are starting to catch on that sports isn't all physical. There's a lot of mental attributions to sports success. In fact, today I think people are starting to realize it may be more mental state than it is physical. And we kind of knew this intuitively because you'd see some really gifted athletes when we were young and they just didn't have the drive or the commitment or their mind got in the way. NuCalm is an augmentation or a tool or a facilitator. It has nothing to do with a therapist or a visualization coach. NuCalm has everything to do with cleaning out the noise in the signal, cleaning your brain out. So this is about, hey, I'm an athlete. I realize when I sit how much expectation lies on my shoulders, how much people are relying on me, whether it's my teammates, my coaches, my fans, my spouse, my kids, my parents. It's an amazing amount of pressure. That pressure can seep into your brain. In sports, there's the adage, if you think, you stink. The key is to clear your mind so that I'm not filled with insecurity, I'm not filled with expectation, I'm not filled with confusion. I need to know where I need to be, what I need to do at any time of the match, period. And if I get stuck in here, I'm not fast enough. My reaction time isn't fast enough. NuCalm is a tool that allows you to regulate up or down your brainwave on demand, what you want, when you want it. So the typical routine for an athlete is simple. Because of the travel schedule and the general fatigue across the board of every season, every morning when the athlete wakes up, they typically do NuCalm Rescue for about 30 minutes. Why? Because it makes up the sleep debt that your body can't make up. So according to research done at Harvard Medical School and NASA 10 years ago, 20 minutes of NuCalm is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. What does this mean? It is not a sleep replacement. You're not going to NuCalm for 5 hours and then not sleep at night. That is not what this does. But the human body is incapable of making up sleep debt. So if you sleep poorly tonight, you don't make it up the next day. And then there's a negative consequence of just building this pattern of poor sleep. So you're not healing as well. You're not recovering as well mentally and physically. So 20 minutes of NuCalm is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. In the morning, you do NuCalm Rescue for 30 minutes. It's giving you about 3 hours of restorative sleep. It's filling in the sleep gap that you didn't get from the night before. Then might use Ignite in the morning instead of coffee. Coffee has great ability to amplify your brainwave frequency, but it also brings a lot of acid into your stomach and messes with your digestion. Then on the way to the pitch or to practice or whatever, they might use Ignite just to amplify and get in that zone. Get me in the zone on demand when I want to. Then they'll perform, practice or whatever. Then they get back in the afternoon, they will use NuCalm Rescue for the healing, restoration, and recovery. In all of sports, it's a very conditioned schedule. In all of the sports teams, from baseball to football to hockey, it doesn't matter. They all have defined rest periods because we understand the need for rest. We just don't really have the tools to give them the rest until NuCalm came along. So they'll use Rescue in the afternoon, then they'll go and they'll perform at night if the match is at night. They'll use Ignite on the way. They might use Ignite at halftime. And then at night, they shower, they do their media, they get on their commercial flight or they go home. They will use Rescue again and then deep sleep. So it's a very habitual routine. And what I love about working with athletes is that if something works once, they'll use it twice. If it works well for them and helps their performance, they'll use it all the time. They're some of our best habitualized users of NuCalm and have been for more than 13 years.
I I'm Heather Jensen, and I was born in Santa Monica, but then I moved to New York, and then I lived in Massachusetts for 4 to 5 years, and then I just moved here last year. I really like the beach, and I like the climate. It's a lot steadier than really hot and really cold. I mean, there's tons of nice people here, and I think I fit in well. I got into volleyball when I moved here, and it's a really nice place for volleyball. There's tons of clubs, and I'm on a club team, and it's really fun.
Has school been tough or easy for you?
Well, not that tough. I mean, we got a new math program this year, and I don't really like it as much as the new one, but it's showing how to explain your thinking, and I think it could be helpful in the future, but I don't think school's been very tough. To me, stress is when you kind of feel overwhelmed and when you feel like there's a ton of pressure on you. When there's pressure or when you feel like you can't handle things, and it's not a good feeling.
So have you ever felt stress?
Yeah, I felt stressed like before tests, when I knew I forgot to study, before a volleyball tournament, when I know I'm serving, like those type of things. But I know that I'm very young in my life, so the stress is gonna get worse.
So would you say your friends also sometimes feel anxious and stressed?
Yeah, anxious and stress is a part of life. And at school, like, there's groups, there's stress, there's tests. So I think everyone really feels stress. I mean, there's different types of stress, but everyone really feels it in different ways, but it's still stress.
And if you had your preference, would you prefer to have more or less of the same amount of stress?
At such a young age, I don't think I have tons or lots of stress. So, I mean, a little more stress would be good because you really need stress. It kind of under pressure, under stress, that kind of helps you become a better person and how to deal with things that you need.
And would you say that all of your friends feel the same way as you?
Well, I mean, some people would like it a lot harder, and some people would like it the easiest they can be. So there's different preferences on stress.
So can you think of anything that wouldn't be good about feeling anxious or fearful or panicky or stressful?
Well, it could kind of sort of mess you up. When I say mess you up, is you could be so anxious, so stressed that you're not really thinking straight, or that you are so nervous that you don't act right, or you don't do things that you would if you're just totally calm.
And have you ever heard of any kids who feel that way or behave that way?
Well, not really, because at school you don't really talk about it with your friends, because stress and anxiousness, I mean, this is just how I feel. It's kind of an inside thing you can tell your family. Maybe you'll tell your friends, but it's not really brought up in conversation.
You lay down and you were newcoming for how long, roughly?
I was newcoming for about 32 minutes. I really noticed that I felt calm in a matter of minutes. And that's different from sleep. It felt very good because for sleep, there's a lot of thoughts going through your head through the day, because for me, it's a time to think. And those thoughts kind of swarm in my head, and it's kind of hard to go to sleep and to relax. But with Newcom, I mean, the music helped and I felt so much more calm. And whenever I started to get those thoughts, they just went away. And it was a great experience for me. I loved it.
Do you think other kids might enjoy this?
I think that kids would love it because right now with this age with tweens and teens, I think that even though it might not seem like it, there's lots of stress going on. It's the number one reason that tells your body to kind of go to sleep and shut down and relax. And I thought that it's really helpful.
Hi, my name is Jenna. I'm 30 years old and I am a yoga and meditation teacher. Therefore, I've been all over the world doing a million different trainings and adventures, exploring in order to find my peace, to be able to provide tools and different healing modalities for my students. And so, needless to say, when NuCalm came into my life, I was super excited to try it. And was like, no way that I can drop into this type of a state this quickly using technology and this little tiny disc on your wrist. I was proven very wrong. NuCalm came into my life through my amazing partner, Salim. It was actually part of our first date. I had been teaching all over, running from different studios to private clients, and I showed up at his door and he could see I was clearly a little,
frazzled.
Frazzled, that's a good one. Yeah, frazzled, to put it nicely. And he was like, you know what? This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna come in and I'm going to have you lie down here. I'm gonna put this thing on your arm, this eye mask thing over your face, headphones on your ears, and I'll see you in about 20 minutes. And I was like, okay. And 20 minutes later, I come out of the complete daze, that, limbo state between, I'm like, am I dreaming? Is this real life? Where am I? Who is this magical man? And I said to him, you're gonna have to come get me because there is no way that I am not inside of your mattress right now. That is how much I've dropped down and in and am fully relaxed. And he comes over and had to physically pick me up out of the bed and brought me over to his dining room table at the time where we enjoyed some pizza.
Like Jenna said, my name is Salim. I'm 34 years old, and about 10 years ago, I went down a hole of wellness, and I started out really, I like to say, chasing energy. It stemmed from my upbringing. My father passed away at a very early age from cancer. I graduated college and really refused to believe that cancer was a thing, so started burying my face in books and actually found a doctor who was curing patients with cancer through baking soda, which I thought was, wow. Baking soda. How do you do that? And that opened my eyes to really nutrition, the importance of nutrition, and the importance of just wellness. So started experimenting with different diets. I was vegan, I was vegetarian, I was pescatarian. Bottom line, through all of that, I really fell in love with this energy that came from it. And with that energy, I would put towards my work. I am what people call a biohacker. I try optimizing my energy as much as I can, a bunch of different gadgets, and would always be very go, go, go. I'd run 10 miles every day. I would be listening to Audible books, trying to learn as much as I can. Could never really just stop the mind. And every book I read about successful people talked about how important and crucial meditation is in their daily practices. So I was like, you know what? I want to try this meditating thing. Downloaded an app called Headspace, would use it, but I could really just never sit still and quiet my monkey mind, as people call. At an event that Sound was sponsoring, there was a booth, and NuCalm was at that booth. And the person that was pitching NuCalm actually told me that this is the best 20-minute power nap you can ever imagine. Tony Robbins uses it. And when he said Tony Robbins, I was like, okay, I'm a little intrigued, but did not have really time at the event to try the product. He said, please come to this gym that had it in New York City after. You will love it. And I was like, you know what? Why not? So 2 days later, I went to this gym. There was NuCalm there. I tried it for the first time, and I instantly just dropped into this state that I would call, kind of like you said, Jenna, between awake and asleep, this limbo state, which I now know as the parasympathetic state, and fell in love instantly, not only with how it felt then, but how I felt after. It was the first time my mind really ever just stopped. So I was like, I need to get my hands on this. How can I make this happen? Talked to the guy that introduced it to me and was like, I need to meet the founders of this company. I want to help this company. I want to be a part of it. And fast forward 4 years later, I have used NuCalm every single day of my life. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. I like to say that any sleep that I didn't get due to all the stresses that a business, that running a business entails, it provides. And then I also use it for post-workout as a recovery. It is the ultimate recovery, getting your body in that parasympathetic state, which allows the most oxygen to get to your blood cells. And Jenna, who is a breathwork meditation yoga teacher, I knew she would love it. And that's one of my favorite things actually about it. I feel like anybody who practices meditation or wellness, when they try it the first time, they instantly get it because they understand what dropping into that state is.
Yeah, it's like a highway to the place that you try over and over again to get to through any type of practice, whether it's breathwork, meditation, yoga. Usually there is a path, there's a journey to get to that sweet spot. And Newcom takes you there immediately. I'm constantly trying out different types of supplements, healing modalities, doctors, the next best thing. Newcom has been the constant. It is the one thing that I have done since being diagnosed every single day without fail, and I attribute so much of my healing to this incredible
Technology.
Thank you.
And I would say I'd probably try pushing you to do it twice a day. That's how important it is.
Yeah.
I did it every morning when I got up, and now we do it together every morning, which I think really just allows us to drop in, feel that parasympathetic state, which I think in that state you get that gratitude, that love, that pure joy and bliss for being alive. And I don't think there's a better way to start off the day than with your partner, with your significant other, meditating.
Yeah, relaxed physical body to take on the day, to be intentional and connected.
Totally. And I mean, for me, I put out fires all day running a beverage company, one of the more difficult industries to be in. And I'll find myself, it'll be 2 p.m., just got off a bunch of calls, and the only thing I want to do is just stop and clear my head, and there is no better way to do that than a 20-minute Newcom session. It really allows you to reset if you have a problem, and usually when you get a problem, your mind reacts to this problem, right? It's like, what do I got to do? How do I got to fix it? Whose fault is it? And that's really not a way to get to a resolution of a problem. The best way to get to a resolution of the problem is having a clear head, having a clear mindset, and looking at it from all angles. And Newcom does such an incredible job of really just allowing you to stop, step back, look at it from a macro scale, I like to say, and go at the problem with the best foot forward.
I'm Tyson. And I'm Logan, and we are the owners of Dad Bods and Beards. So I was a little bit skeptical at first, just because there's a lot of those apps out there. Like, I've used meditating apps, and I've used different apps that like are supposed to give you like guided thought processes and things like that. Mm-hmm. But once you started using Newcom and you were like, dude, like this thing actually works. I've been using it every single day, multiple times a day. That really kind of intrigued me more. And then I started using it. And one thing that I do use a lot is I use the Focus.
Oh, interesting.
Because I have ADHD and I also have some mental health issues, and so my brain is but my brain's always going like a million miles a minute, and sometimes that's hard for me to like sit down and focus on a task. I mean, you constantly are reminding me of things that we need to get done, and once I've started utilizing,
but I'm nice about it.
You are great, but once I've started using the Focus portion of Newcom, I'll actually put it in with both headphones, turn on the noise canceling, put my phone in like do not disturb, and I'll do for like 15 to 30 minutes. And I'm surprised how much of like the mundane work that I can get done. But then at the same time, I'll flip the lid and then I'll put it into flow state for the creativity side. So when I'm editing or things like that, where I don't need to worry so much about sound and I'm going just for video, like whether it's podcast clips or some funny reels or things like that, I'll put it in the flow state, because then it really puts me in that like creative frequency.
You know what I really like?
What?
So at 5:30 in the morning, I set my alarm 5:30 a.m. I leave my house at 5:45. I get to the gym at 6.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I do. And at 5:45, I turn on Ignite. It's 13 minutes of the one I listen to. And dude, when I get to the gym, I am focused. I am ready. I am pumped. Like, there's one called Unstoppable. And dude, when I do this, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good workout, and it always is.
Yeah, it kind of gets you.
And sometimes I'll do it on repeat, and then so I'll do cardio at the beginning, and I'll hit repeat and just listen to it one more time, because some of them have like a conversation with you, and you're answering him in your head as he's asking you questions with the music. Dude, there's nothing like it. It's different. Like, it just hits me just right where I'm just like, I'm ready for the day. Like, I can do this.
I tend to gravitate more towards the music sides, or just like the sounds and the vibration frequencies. I used the Deep Sleep Plus for the first time the
It's
other
legit.
night, and I was out. Not just like passed out, but I felt like I had some pretty vivid dreams, which were great for creativity wise, but it just helped me stay asleep, because I wake up a lot and I don't have to get up and like go use the restroom or anything like that, but I find myself like waking up and
stressed,
checking my phone, stressed out or whatever. But this is just kind of like locking my brain into sleep mode is the kind of best way I know how to.
Have you listened to the Gratitude one yet?
Is it good?
No, dude, you gotta listen to Gratitude.
Yeah.
I say Gratitude because that's what we do as a family. Yeah. No, but Gratitude because it reminds you of the things you need to be grateful for. Like, I like the music. The music is like, we'll get into that later, but when it's speaking to me with the music and it's noise canceling and it's just you and you're having that conversation with yourself, it just reminds you, like, I have so much to be grateful for. I am unstoppable. I can do this today. I can conquer the world, and you're excited for it. That's new to me because I'm like, yeah, I'll get it done. Yeah, this is the stuff I have to do. But now I'm just like, dude, I get to do all this stuff. I'm so grateful I get to do this.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I've learned by using New Calm is so many of us are trapped inside our own head, and the solution is also within your own head. You just have to be in the right state of mind. You have to be in the right vibrations, right frequencies, because I mean, just our human potential of your consciousness is untapped. And it's amazing how just listening to the right thing will put you in a completely different mood or like focused state or relaxed state or energized state. And it's literally just coming from what's going into your ears.
And they keep coming out with like updates of different musics and different meanings behind the music. And I really like that.
And I like the fact that at the end, it's like, hey, how was it? Out of, out of a rating of 1 to 5, was this helpful? Where was it helpful? And it's like tailor
takes
fitting.
that analytics for you.
And then it's tailor fitting these things to work better for you. So what maybe works well for you doesn't work as well for me, but there's a wide range of options. And so I feel like it fits everybody.
I like that. No, I'm dead serious. Like, just get it. You get a 7-day free trial, and I promise you it will change your life if you use it right. But I mean, like, no, but really, 7 days, it gives you 7 days of unlimited access to try it. And you will, I mean, it's guaranteed you're going to like it, but it's 7 days for free. And then in the end of 7 days, like, hey, do you like this? And then it's really inexpensive anyway.
So if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, you kind of feel like you're stuck in your own head, give New Calm a try, and you will be pleasantly surprised how capable you are. What are you doing here? Boop.
The biggest challenge of being a D1 athlete definitely is just navigating your way with so many different life areas. A lot of times it's almost like working 2 jobs. You got to balance a heavy academic load with waking up every single morning early, getting into the locker room around 5:30, 5:45, and putting your body to the test. And then you gotta find ways to bounce back and have enough energy, have enough focus to hit the classroom and hit the book.
Yeah, the yearly, because man, if you can afford the yearly, wow. It is incredible. Really is good. But be warned, some tracks you listen to are not that good, but other tracks, wow. Just killer, you know? Your body starts vibrating. Oh. But we don't use the patches anymore. That's old stuff. We don't use that anymore. We don't need to buy the health stuff as well, but it's good that if you're in a country where they're available, buy them. Because they've even got the thing where you get younger, not older. How cool is that? So they're really good, but they're only available in America. Not because, they're not allowed anywhere else, but because they want to keep it to themselves kind of thing. But the app is allowed everywhere. And in the whole 100 countries, you can download the app and use the app. And that's all you need is the app. You need 3 people to join you, and you need the app. That's it. Because once you get those 3 people to join you, you don't really have to worry about much after that. Because it flows on its own. So you can imagine this for a minute, right? Just for a minute. You join up with New Calm, right? And then you join up with New Calm, right? You talk to your children, your wife, your brother, your sister, your cousin, whoever, and they go, oh, great, and they join up, right? 3 people, straight away. Not an issue, right? Now, those 3 people get 3 people more, right? So then everyone gets paid. There's none of this, you do all the work and only the people who are doing it, only the people at the top get paid. There's none of that. We all get paid. On that subject, let me show you something. I know it's been a long video, so you can't watch it all at once, just watch it in sections. So we go back to here, right? We go back to, where is it? Compensation plan, right? This is the compensation plan. This is where you make the money. I mean, I know it's not about money, and money is not important. You only need it to pay bills, buy food, live and eat and all that. And in this time of everyone having no money and not shopping and, dying because they don't have any money, that's how unimportant it is. Like, yeah, the chainsaw's going out there. So, watch this.
Sleep is a problem for many, many people, in fact, too many people. And there's an incompatibility between stress and sleep. So our sleep protocol starts with rescue. If we can solve your stress response,
on the very first way we pay out, it's very simple. It's 50% of all of the commission volume the order generates. So when somebody gets it and buys, about 50% is commissionable. And then if you're the one that makes the sale, you get 50% of that. Okay, so it's really that simple. And most people are either buying Newcom monthly for $42.49. So $21.25 of that is commissionable. Okay. And this qualifies you for all your pay for a month. And then of course you can buy it annually, brings it all the way down to like $38.25 a month. But here's the cool part. The monthly saves you 15%, the annual saves you 23%, but we let it qualify you for the whole entire year. So if you buy this for a whole year, you don't have to buy anything else unless you want to. But what it's supposed to be about is residual income, money that comes in month after month, year after year. So here's the second way we pay out on all reorders, whether it's Newcom or other products, whatever it is, on all reorders, whether it's monthly or annually. If you have just one member that's direct to you, one customer / associate, you'll make 5%. If you have 3, you'll make 20%. It goes to 4 times. So most people are at least shooting for 3 for multiple reasons in our company. This is one of the reasons. And I believe if we can get the average person to really get 3, we can change this industry. Okay. So you'll see all the reasons why we're pushing people to at least just do a little and get 3. And how do they do it? By getting them to get Newcom with a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. Then if you get 7, it's 30%. %. It qualifies them for a whole year where they don't have to buy another thing, and it moves them to this pay scale on the right instead of the one on the left that I just showed you. Now it's this simple, guys. Double the pay for one customer, 10%. Jumps all the way to 25% if you have 3, and 3 is a sweet spot. It's a magic point. We literally put a bonus on just bringing in 3 customers. Does not matter whether they spend $42.49 or the $458. When you bring in 3, it could just be 3 monthlies. you're going to get a $50 bonus. That happens when you get 3 on either side. Doesn't matter whether you're on the monthly or the annual, you get that bonus. You're manager 3. The next step is manager 7. To get 7, now it pays you just like you got 21. So the difference between buying Newcom annually is you're on this scale. You never have to go to 21 to get the 50%. You can go to 7, plus there's a bonus. When you become a manager 7, whichever scale you're on, whichever side, you get a $200 bonus. Depending on whether they buy the monthly or the annual, the minimum you'll make if everybody does the monthly is $325. The max, if everybody buys the annual, is $950. It's usually about $500 because there's an average in there. So with that being said, that's 2 of the ways you get paid. Manager 3, the power of manager 3. This is our focus. How does it happen? You get in the company, you have one quick goal, get to manager 3. What does that mean? You put 3 people on your team now. Besides all the money I just showed you, you're getting paid an additional 2% on all the commission volume they generate for life. And so like, since you brought them in, you're getting that 50% plus the 2. We give them one main goal, become a manager 3. That's their job. Go get 3, become a manager 3. That puts 9 more people on your team. Don't worry, they're going to get paid the 50% and all that stuff, but you get a pay raise. You get 3% of all their commission volume. And what do we teach them? The system teaches them, get 3, manager 3. Now there's 27 folks on your team, another pay raise, 4% on all the commission volume they generate for life. But what are we teaching them? Go manager 3. You can see the trend here. It's about many hands make light work. Everybody just become a manager 3. And if they become a manager 3, they're automatically putting 3 people each on your team, right? As this keeps going and we keep teaching it, just for 7 levels, I'm just going to take it 7 levels deep. It actually pays 20 levels. 2,187 people, 10%. Here's the question. Where would you rather have the biggest percentage for long-term residual income? Where you have 3 people maxed or where 2,187 can be there? Of course, the answer is where you have the most people, right? Creating the most CV. That's why we set the plan up like this. Those 2,187 people are going to have one goal, go manager 3. But for this presentation, we're going to pretend like they don't know anybody that would want Newcom. We're just going to talk about if this is your team and everybody just went manager 3, if they were buying the monthly Newcom, you'd be making over $6,000 a month. If they buy it annually, you'd be making over $57,000 a year. And nobody had to bring in more than 3 people. Nobody has to be more than a manager 3 for this to work. But what if they're going for that $200 and that 50% for life, right? Then they're actually bringing in 7, not 3. It actually makes this happen quicker and bigger. In our company, you can have an unlimited amount of these, all working at the same time for you simultaneously. So why is that a big deal? If one could pay you $6,000 a month, it stands to reason 2 could pay you $12,000. You know, if 2 could pay you 12, 3 could pay you 18. What could 10 pay you? Okay, I'm going to show you how you can have 10 of these working for you all at the same time right now for free. The profit sharing positions is the most powerful part. They multiply your income like no other company, and it happens automatically. And they're so unique. I was able to get them copyrighted. No other company can copy this right now. So here's how it works. You get in our company and you get one profit sharing position automatically at sign up. Okay. What is it really? It's a 3x20 forced matrix. Now, I love forced matrices, but if that's all we had, I wouldn't be a part of the comp plan because they cap your income and they make it so that once it's full, there's no reason to go on. Our company is different, okay? This is a 3x20 force matrix. That means you can only have 3 people on your first level, 9 on your second, 27 on your third, all the way down. It triples for 20 levels deep. There's a massive amount of income to be earned from that, but that's not all we have here, okay? Why I invented what's called a PSP or a profit sharing position is because I got in another company years ago. I brought in 156 people direct to me, but I only had 51 on my first level. Why? because I got so sick and tired of people not being able to win and make it. I started giving everybody away to them. Then I realized, wait a minute, this is too big a problem for one guy to help everyone. We need to be in a system that forces everyone to help everyone else. And here's the key, whether they like it or not. Well, that's the force matrix. If I bring in 156 people in a 3x20 force matrix and I can only have 3 on my first level, where do the other 153 go? They spill down. And then after there's 9 on the second level, where the other 100 something go? They keep spilling down and down and down. It forces me to help everybody, whether I like it or not. I said, this is the most ingenious thing I'd ever seen. Why isn't every company using a force matrix? And there was only 2 reasons why. I took 2 years and researched it. Number one, once it's full, it caps your income. No leader wants capped income. They want unlimited income potential. And then number 2, really important, once it's full, if you bring in the stud of the earth, anybody that's going to build this thing like crazy, if they land below your pay levels, you don't make any money off what they do. No leader wants to do work and make money. And then I said, hey, this force matrix is good for the 80%ers of the world that aren't going to do much. If I could fix it for the 20%ers, the go-getters that are going to drive the whole thing, we'd have a win-win. So in our company, it is a 3x20 force matrix. Yes, you get 3, you're going to get paid 50% on everything they buy. But when you bring in a 4th person, the magic begins. The copyrighted part begins, okay? You bring in that 4th person, you're going to make 50% of all the commission volume. But way more important than that, you're going to get a U number 2. What is it? It's another 3x20 force matrix. It doesn't cost you anything to get it. As a matter of fact, you basically get paid to get it because you're getting paid off of what that person buys that you brought in. But look at how the U number 2 in the circle is directly above that new person, right? It's directly above her. They stay attached for life. That means she's on the first level of that U number 2. So you're going to get paid 20 more levels of her team. But if that unit, I don't care if it lands 1 million levels down, if she's always on the first level for that U number 2, you're always going to have 20 more levels of pay. That's it. It's completely solving the 2 problems. Number 1, if 1 U could pay you 6,000 a month, well, 2 could pay you 12, 3 could pay you 18. So if you can get a bunch of these, it completely solves the cap on your income. And then I believe more important than that, no matter where that U number 2 with that person attached under it lands in your original matrix, they're always on your first level. So it's just like you're bringing everybody in the best place always. This is another one of these. So now by bringing a 4th person in our company, you literally have 2 of these happening at the same time. And I'm going to show you how it gets even easier to fill them. The same people count multiple times to fill them. Okay. So here's what you need to know. You now have another 20 level matrix. Just because you brought in a 4th person, doesn't matter whether they're a customer or an associate or both, right? Lots of people want to be both. You're now getting paid from 40 levels of pay, not just 20. What if you bring in a 5th person? You're going to get a U number 3, 20 more levels of pay. And here's the best part, everybody. You only have to qualify your first position, the U number 1. All the ones we give you for free after that are automatically qualified as the same as your first one. Okay. So what if you bring in a 6th person? You're going to get another 20 levels of pay. How about a 7th, a U number 5? How about an 8? Guess what, everybody? This happens for an unlimited amount of people that you bring in. Now, I'm going to show you how these stack in your original matrix and how you can earn double pay, triple pay, quadruple pay. All right, let me show you how they stack. Remember force matrix, they would go right there under Joe. Lee would be on the first level for Joe right there. But in our company, the computer system says, hey, wait a minute. I got to take care of the person that brought them in because the computer's going to insert you all over again. Now you can earn 20 levels from that point down. So Lee is on the first level for that new you. So when she purchases or her team purchases, you're going to get paid right there. Don't worry about Joe. Joe didn't do anything, and he's going to get paid off of Lee's whole team But then look who's above Joe. It's you again. Everybody, that's double pay off of one sale. Lee counts to fill your U number 2 and your top one, your U number 1. One person just counted to fill 2 of your matrices. Folks, double pay, less people to fill it, and this is where it gets interesting because now if you bring in another person, where do you think they'll go? Since we've already helped Joe, the computer system says, let's help Jane next, right? That's fair. You're going to get paid double pay on everything Anna does and her team. And then if you bring in someone else, it'll help Tim. Rick is going to pay you double pay and everyone else on his team. If you bring in another person, it's going to go back to Joe because it keeps everything equal. If you bring in another one, back to Jane, another one to Tim. And then, of course, if you bring in another one and another one and another one, it'll fill just like this. The most important thing, look at you at the top and then look at you 9 positions on that second level. That's a total of 10 positions that you can now earn that $6,000 a month from, right? So you could times that by 10. But think about this, everybody. It's 10 of these, all working at the same time, and you only have to worry about qualifying your first one. Everything else happens automatically. This is the part that's copyrighted that no one else can copy. What's better than double pay? No one ever gets this wrong. It's triple pay, right? I'd rather get paid 3 times off of one sale instead of just 2 or 1 time. Well, if you bring in another person at this point, by the way, that's my beautiful daughter, McKenna, but if you brought her in, you would get paid right there because she'd be on your first level, right? Even though she's landed down on the 4th level for your original matrix, you would get paid like she's on your first level. Then if you follow the blue line up, you get paid at your next spot. So that's double pay. Joe would get paid, but don't worry about him for right now. I want you to see how you're now going to get paid 3 times off of every sale McKenna makes and her team. Folks, this is what no other company can do. Triple pay off of the same sale. So with that being said, how many of these would you like to have? They are free, so I suggest you get a whole bunch of them. We have a huge bonus. Our rank bonus system is incredible. You become a manager 3, I already showed you that, you get $50. You become a manager 7, you get $200. But as the volume from your team starts ranking you up, in other words, you have $5,000 worth of sales on your team, there's just one rule. No more than 60% can come from any one leg. So if you put in 3 people, you have 3 legs. If you put in 7 people, you have 7 legs. You could have 2 people build this thing and rank you to the top of the company. When you hit 5K, you get a $500 bonus. 10K is 1,000, 25K is 2,500, and you can see it just keeps going all the way up to $50,000 when you hit our top rank, 500K. So the total is going to be really big, and everyone just focuses on 2 things: manager 3, manager 7.
Imagine that. 500K. $500,000 a month. And you get a $50,000 bonus. Like, what would you do with that kind of money? Whoa. People in the company are already earning that. Already doing that. The catch is you have to get 3 people to start. But once you got those 3 people to start, oh my Lord. It just grows and grows and grows. Well, that's it. That's like a really long one today. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you get in. I'm going to put the link at the bottom of this video when I process it, which could be tomorrow, because YouTube likes to take a long time to process stuff. Okay, righto.